Welcome back, everybody. We're not in Nova Scotia today. Jess tells me we're in Nova Scotia Island.
No.
Prince Edward Island. Nova Scotia Island. It's a good start to the vlog. As you can tell,
accurate information from John.
I don't often know where we are or where we're going, and I think sometimes people probably think that's a bit of a...
Yeah, they think we ham it up.
Yeah.
It's true. When we're in Europe, he doesn't know what country we're in sometimes.
As you'll see, I got a haircut yesterday, and the bloke said he was from Nepal.
Oh my.
And you know when somebody tells you where they're from, and you think, oh, I don't want to look stupid, because I thought Nepal was in India, so I didn't want to say, oh, whereabouts in India? So I waited till I get back and I say to Jess, is Nepal in India? And she was like, no, that's
a whole nother
country. So it's a good job I'm with Jess sometimes because she keeps me on the straight and narrow. But anyways,
I don't think I succeed at that.
We're in Prince Edward Island.
Hey, you got it right.
And Jess has taken us to some incredible places in the world, and some of the park-ups we've had have just been unbelievable. You wouldn't even get that sort of view in a 5-star hotel, and I think today she has excelled herself. So without further ado, let me show you this little beauty park-up. Look at that. The Mecca of Prince Edward Island. Now, as much as I would love to go in and sample some of Canadian Tire's delights, we've got something equally as excited to show you this morning. So let's hit the road. Now, as we go into week 3 of being in the old beauty Sainsbury's van, I thought I'd give you a little update on the old power situation, because as you know, we upgraded the battery system, so we're running 400 amps of lithium, and also we've got that 100 amps of DC-DC charging now, and so far it's been brilliant, so well happy with that. But it will be interesting to see how we go when we get the colder weather and obviously the less daylight. But a lot of you are saying for a backup we should either get a power bank or a generator. So I've been doing my research and I found just the one. The jet engine generator. Now, it does run on diesel, but it might not be so economical because it uses 10,000 litres of diesel per hour. And it's not the cheapest either, because 20 years ago, it was £50 million. Now, this is Sean, and he watches the channel, and he kindly said we can come down today and check this out. And this is the man that looks after this little beauty. But basically, this is a generator that powers the whole of the island pretty much at sometimes, eh?
We have several machines. This is the one for Charlottetown that will provide the grid. We have a couple down in Borden as well. This is an LM6000 made by General Electric, and it can provide up to 50 megawatts of power.
So I was asking him about that, and he was saying they don't get all their power from this. They get it from New Brunswick on underground cables, but at the minute they've got half the power coming from the wind generators that are here as well. This is just sort of like a backup system. So normally on a jet engine, they've got the blades. What would that be at the front there, would it?
That'd be at that end of it. There'd be blading. On an airplane, this whole jet engine would spin that blading. The air would go that way, the plane would go that way. With this system here, it's a gas turbine. There's no fans. It takes all that energy and does it to a rotational energy, which spins a shaft that goes right through the machine to a generator, spins the generator, and that's what makes the power.
I think it'll be enough to power the van anyway. Now, this is the control room where Sean basically keeps an eye on the generator, and he's got a screen here which shows everything, how it all works and how it's monitored.
So on the screen we can watch the turbine, check to see how the lube oil system's working, check to see how the internals are working for temperature and pressures. We have a fuel system, we can watch our fuel pressures and temperatures. We put NOx water, we call it, into the generator for pollution control. We also have a vibration system. We're watching vibration on the machine because that's very critical to keep vibration at a minimum. And we're watching ventilation to see how the machine is breathing and not overheating inside. And what we'll do is we can keep an eye on everything all at once to a degree on one screen, but we always do flip around from screen to screen to get more detail.
Now, even though the jet engine is only the backup power for the island, they do have a good old stash of diesel to keep it running. There's 2.3 million litres in there that'd keep it running for a week.
I think we need to fill the van up with it. See you later, mate.
Well, who'd have thought I'd be so interested in power? I found that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, well, I knew I'd like the engine side of it, but the fact of how you find out how they get power, how it works.
How they keep it all running as well.
Yeah.
Like that generator is literally just there so that when they're a bit low on power or there's a bit too much drain on the system, they can put it on and keep everyone's lights on. Just
But
blew my mind.
we all moan about how much it costs to get power, don't we? But when you see things like that and you think, even just the fuel tank alone, 2.3 million litres of fuel there. So if you worked out £1 a litre, 2.3 million pounds worth of fuel. It's just
mind-boggling.
mental.
So now we've shown you how the island's houses are powered, I thought we'd better show you how its people are powered. Cow's Creamery ice cream. Supposedly Canada's best ice cream. And I'll take one for the team. I'm going to try it out for you. Now, not only do they make all of their own ice cream on site here, but they also make all their own waffle cones and bowls. And it's such a famous smell of Cow's Creamery. They've even made a candle so you can light it at home and make your house smell just like the ice cream shop. May I please have a single scoop of the Messy Bessie?
For sure.
Please.
And what kind of cone would you like it in?
Can I have it in one with nuts, please? That looks lovely.
Now, it's perfect weather for a milkshake and an ice cream. It's snowing, but I went for an eggnog milkshake. Now, I've never had eggnog before in my life, but you always hear it on the movies, don't you? I'm going to have eggnog for Christmas and for New Year, so...
And she said that it's a limited edition one. You can only get it at this store, so had to be tried.
I don't know what it is, but it tastes good anyway.
As much as this is delicious, it does feel a bit wrong eating ice cream in a beanie. In a coat going...
Shivering.
in the front of the van.
So what is eggnog when they have it normally?
I think it's like milk with eggs mixed in it and lots of nutmeg and spices and stuff. I don't know, maybe it tastes a bit like a liquid custard kind of thing? I don't know.
We have to try it. I might put it in John's cookbooks.
Oh my god. Now try some. Oh, you can taste the nutmeg. This tastes like a liquid custard tart is what I would say. Don't you think?
It's nice as well, isn't it?
I like the cones. Well, I have got to make a brew now to warm me up. And while I do, I wanted to talk to you about the sponsor of this week's video, Incogni, because our sponsors help make these adventures possible. So Incogni is a personal information removal service, and they reduce your risk of scams, spams and identity theft by getting you removed from data brokers lists. Now, data brokers are companies that collect your personal information and sell profiles about you to other businesses like marketers, insurers and financial institutions. Not only is this really invasive, but it can affect things like whether you get a loan or not and how much your insurance costs. But the even bigger problem is that these databases are frequently hacked and millions of people's personal information ends up in the hands of criminals each year who do things like steal your identity. Now, you have the right to be removed from these lists, but it makes the companies a lot of money, so they intentionally don't make it easy. But that's where Incogni comes in, because all you have to do is sign up, grant them the right to work for you, sit back, and they'll do the rest.
Now, since we signed up, they've removed us from 110 lists and saved us 82 hours work. And you can try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So if you want to take control of your personal information, Incogni have given us a massive 60% discount if you use the code TRUEBLUE. I'll put a link in the description for you. Now, there's something about this island, despite the radically different climate, that reminds me of home in Australia, and that is the red dirt that it's famous for. Now, the reason the dirt is so red here is because the soil's really rich in iron, and when that's exposed to the air, it rusts, and that's what gives the soil its colour.
So I thought I'd make myself a little souvenir for my time here on the island, and for that I need my bucket and my raggedy old jumper. So I brought us down to the beautiful Thunder Cove Beach, which is famous because it's got beautiful sounds and it's backed by these red cliffs which even turn into these super cool little caves where the tide washes them out. Now, I was hoping there was going to be some rock pools today, but we must be here at the wrong time, so I'm going to have to improvise. So first job is to get some water in my bucket. Ooh! Ooh!
Well, the last time we saw beautiful red rocks like this, we was in Australia, Karajini National Park, absolutely stinking hot day, about 40 degrees. Bit different today, when it's -2, And these little icicles growing on the rocks.
Now the theory is that if I put some of this red dirt, it's frozen, I need another spot. So take 2, the idea is, that's frozen too. So the idea is that I get some of this dirt and mix it in with my water and it's gonna make a dye. So let's see if it works. White jumper in. Oh my God, that is freezing. You squish it around. Oh, that bit looks red, look. Whether it's just muddy, I don't know. Okay, just let it permeate through for a little while, as old Nigella would say. Although that's cooking, not science. Well, the dyeing process is proving a little bit tricky in the old bucket. So I'm gonna make myself my own little rock pool. Oh no, quick, we need to dam it. Ah! Shall we see if it's worked? Let's wash her out in the ocean. Holy Jesus. Oh. Okay, I need a little rest, just a rest. This is such a dumb idea.
Well, I think it's safe to say that was a fail.
It's not wide anymore, but it might just be full of mud. Shut up.
Looks like you yourself.
This is the fastest I can walk. My toes don't feel like toes anymore. They feel like daggers. I'm getting feeling in my left foot. Come on, right foot. Come on, right foot. Life lesson. Do not believe everything you read on blogs. Oh.
Rise and shine, Joyon. Oh my God. Rise and shine.
That's an early one today. Because we're heading off the island.
Now, I know we haven't been here very long, but one of the reasons we're leaving the island is because everything is closed. All the restaurants, attractions, even the Anne of Green Gables house, which is like the most famous attraction on the island, is closed this time of year. And I was half expecting it because it is a summer destination, and you can absolutely see why. It would be spectacular here in the summer, but in the winter, it's a ghost town. And even though we've only scratched the surface of what there is to do here, apparently there's a snowstorm coming through this afternoon, and if we don't leave today, we might get stuck here for a few days.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, thank you very much. How are you?
Not too bad. Do you need the receipt?
No, that's fine, thank
Have a
you.
great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now there's 2 ways you can get to and from PEI. The first is a ferry from Nova Scotia, but with us being seasick Sallies, that was not our first choice. And the second is over the bridge, which is called Confederation Bridge, and it's 12.9 kilometres long, which makes it the longest bridge that goes over seasonally iced waters. But Sean was telling us a cool fact about it, which is that they've designed the legs of it so that they act like icebreakers. So then when the ice sheets are like floating across in the winter, they don't put pressure on the bridge, it splits them apart and floats past.
Now, another genius thing about the bridge is they don't charge you when you go over it to the island, which means there's half the booze, half the people they're employing, but when you leave, they charge you $54. So it's almost like they're saying, come to the island and spend as long as you can here and as much money as you can and enjoy it, because when you go, we're going to charge you double. Now, as we're passing into New Brunswick, we've made a little stop off, because you know when Jess was saying that it reminds her a bit of home. Well, I think the Canadians are just as weird as the Aussies, because as you go into Exmouth, they've got a giant prawn. Well, New Brunswick, they got 90 tonnes of concrete lobster. I don't really know what to say to that.
Well, I don't think it's weird because Cheshire is the self-proclaimed lobster capital of the world. And one thing I'm gutted about actually is one thing we've missed by being here in the winter is they do these things called lobster suppers. They have these like community halls and you just have like all you can eat lobster and snacks. I think that sounds epic.
But I've just thought actually, I can't give you too much grief because the English are a bit weird as well, like Catford. They've got a big concrete cat as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
And then you've got the Black Cat roundabout near Peterborough.
Yeah, that's just got a weird, creepy kind of cat on it. So
What is up with these big concrete statues of animals?
I think they're fun. We have a giant pineapple in Australia too.
You wouldn't believe I washed the van 3 days ago, would you? Look at the state of it.
Now, if it was bugging you as much as it was bugging me last week, I do have an answer on the very important question of what is the plural of moose. And the answer is moose. I did like the suggestion though from lots of people in the comments that it should be meese, like with geese. But on the topic of moose, they have so many signs here on the side of the road warning you for moose, which I'm gutted we haven't seen any. But not only is there like the normal animal signs, but they also have these massive like flashing signs comparing them to the size of a car. And when you're driving down lots of the highways and things here, there's fences on the side of the road. And they have these what look like almost runoff bays. So if animals were to get out onto the road, they run along the side of the fence and it kind of like siphons them into these one-way gates and puts them back out into the forest. But for today's activity, I have brought us to Fredericton, which is the capital city of New Brunswick and our 3rd province so far in Canada. And I've brought us to a sports bar with a difference. Cool this.
Hello, folks.
So I brought us to Launchpad Sports Bar. We're gonna have a bit of baseball.
Now, whilst I'm looking forward to playing baseball, the old machines impress me the most. Look, you've got the dials so you can turn it up and down. Then you can adjust the height and everything there as well. Get the old ball. Good target practice, I reckon, with Jess.
Do-do-do-do. Batter's up. Whoa, that would have been a big one. It's good fun though. It's a good bit of like anger management too. Living in a van with him, I can imagine his face on the balls instead. I'm surprised how much I don't completely suck at this. So they have this beauty little machine that simulates that we're playing at the Blue Jays Stadium in Toronto. Jack's going to explain how it works and helps you get better at hitting.
So basically after every round we have kind of a summary of how you did. Essentially her last round she just had 8 hits on her 33 at bats, which was really great for her first time hitting. Her furthest distance was 170 feet and then her highest velocity off the bat was 51 miles an hour. So hey, first round, pretty solid right there, really good, yeah.
See if John can beat that then.
Now, Jack was saying that Jess got a bit of a boost, so if I don't get as good as her, then you know why.
You make me sick.
Little bump, but...
Well, John, I'm pretty sure, is a cheetah pumpkin eater and it's rigged the machine.
So Jess only got our distance, maximum distance of 170, and I've got 247. So I think it's about time if Jess sees she can beat it again.
Round 2, it's on like Donkey Kong. That's why you wear a helmet.
Right, this is the one now, Jess. This is the one.
This is the one. Whoa!
What was
Did
that
you
one?
see
What was
that
that
one? That was a beauty. Proper good fun, this though.
Now she's getting better at it, so I think it's about time for a bit of speed baseball.
John! Jesus! John! I can't hit them. I can't even get my finger.
Whoa!
That's what you get. Right at your nether regions. You would have needed a cap on then, B.
Whoa, what was that one? What was
That was my
one?
best one. So you've seen the amateurs at work, but Jack here is somewhat more of a pro, a bit more experienced than us. He used to play University League baseball over here, and some of the banners that adorn the walls here, he was part of the winning team. So we've talked him into doing a couple of swings for us. Thanks, mate. Whoa! Distance is 288. Nice. Whoa, 342.
Yeah.
Home run as well.
Yeah, we can take that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Home run. Yeah, baby.
All right.
Lordy, that's fresh.
Well, that's another Another bucket list ticked anyway. That was brilliant, that.
It was so much fun. I think we're going to have to try and find another one of those. And I'm going to have to keep doing it until I can beat John.
But Jack was saying that we've got to go to an ice hockey game. And how do you pronounce it?
Saskatchewan.
And he was saying some of the local league games there, some of the best to go to. And when they win, they throw a moose leg onto the ice.
Yeah, one of the teams from Manitoba. So that's something that's gone on the list too. So the plan for this afternoon was that we were going to take ourselves for a nice little stroll around downtown Fredericton. And while it's only -11 today, because of the crazy ass wind chill, the real feel is actually -21 today. So I've binned that plan off, and we are going to go for the windows up, heaters pumping Sainsbury's bus tour of Fredericton. Now, probably the most famous building in Fredericton is their town hall that you can see behind me. And it's famous because of the beautiful clock right up the top there. And the clock hands on it are 8 foot long each. They have to be hand wound every day, and they're made out of copper.
And the other iconic historic buildings of Fredericton are behind me, a group of buildings called the Garrison District, and they're from the British military base that used to be in this town. Now, they're not used for that anymore, they're an artists' hub, and in the summer they have outdoor cinema screenings and a night market here.
Now I have found plenty of the old iconic, what are they called? Fire hydrants. But one thing I haven't found is where there's a car crashed into them and the water's splurting up in the air like they do in the movies.
And how cool is this? Look, they've intentionally flooded this little pathway around a park here so that people can come down and go ice skating. And they've even got these little free things here for people who are learning. But I am not dressed properly for this weather. Get me back to that van. Whew. Just fresh. Oh, I can't feel my bum.
Yeah, one thing that's been pretty easy to find while we've been over here is bins. And whilst we haven't got a dirty bag, we're using this locker here to store it in.
And if anybody's wondering how our jumper's getting on, ta-da! It is a muddy ice block. Ready? See it go on the floor.
No, that's going
Oh, no.
straight in the bin.
Oh, quick, get in.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Well, this'll ding-dang do for the night. What a beauty little spot. Oh my goodness, we've got a friend.
What's he then?
Hello, buddy. Is he a deer? Yeah, he's a deer. This is my latest Vanlife hack. I cut the chicken up with my scissors because then I don't get it all over the chopping board. So you've only got like one item you have to scrub with the water.
Your mate cuts pizza with scissors as
Yeah,
well, doesn't
Alison
she?
taught me this trick. Good old Ali.
But tonight, I'll do a cinematic shot of the ingredients.
What, salad and some herbs?
But we're going for the old, what are we having?
Well, we're having gyros-inspired naan bread wraps. What we're having.
Nice. Sounds good anyway. But when we was doing the old baseball thing, I was speaking to the bloke who was doing it, Jack, and he was saying that how good it is out here, really, for the amount of sports they've got, whereas in England we don't really have that many.
And certainly none that embrace the winter the way they do.
Yeah, that's it. Like when we saw them kids out ice skating,
Yeah.
it was so cool.
They were loving life as well.
But it's the same in like all the Scandinavian countries as well. But the fact you can go skiing, ice skating, roller hockey,
Snowshoeing.
or ice hockey, should I say? But yeah, there's so many cool things. Whereas in England, we've only really got football or soccer
Actually, England's good at horse riding too.
and rugby. Apart from that,
Oh, cricket. English
cricket.
have
Yeah, but that's a
too.
summer sport, isn't it?
True.
So-
Actually, fun fact, Jack was telling us today, another one of the Canadian national sports, as well as ice hockey and baseball, is lacrosse, although they only really do that in the West.
It's a fresh one this morning. So we've got a bit of luxury. The engine preheater. Now, whilst I wait for the old preheater to warm up, we got some more of these Vanguardian alarms to fit. Remember I fitted some on the old Pinsgauer? I'm sticking some on this old beauty.
Now, we bought these with us from the UK and we want to fit them for two reasons. First is obviously security, and we've shown you before how well they work on the pins. But the other reason we wanted them for this trip in particular is for protection from bears when they wake up. Because we've heard stories of them coming and like prying motorhome doors open and things, particularly when they're hungry and they've just woken up in the spring because they can smell my delicious cooking inside. And Grant was telling us that he bought a trailer from the national parks over here and the bears had ripped the back door off of it to get to the rubbish that they were keeping inside.
Now, the reason we love them so much is because they're so simple to fit. It's -12 today, middle of nowhere in Canada, and we're installing alarms, so there's not many alarms you could say that about. But we just fit the backing plate on, then you literally just put the alarm in like that, and then you put the cover on, and then you just put 4 screws in the side of the alarm here just to keep that cover on, and then there's this plastic cover that just pops over the top like that. Job's a good one. Now, I fitted one to all 4 doors, and then you get 3 of these key fobs, 1 for inside the van and 2 for your keys. And all you do to arm it is just press the arm button. You hear 1 beep, and then a few seconds later, you'll get another beep. Now you know it's armed. So when your bear comes along, if he tries the door, it'll give him a warning beep. And if he keeps going, the alarm will go off fully.
Now, whilst you can fit these in -12, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you fancy one, we get ours from Adventure Vanlife, and they've given us a 5% discount off of everything in their store. I'll put the code below for you and in the description. So for today's activity, I brought us to Macclesfield Provincial Park. And not just because it's got a fun name, but because in the winter here they do snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, they've got a snow tubing hill, and they've got this amazing ice skating rink that weaves in and out of the forest and over ponds. But unfortunately, there's not enough snow for any of those activities, which is a bit of a theme we've had across all of New Brunswick. I found loads of fun activities to do across the Fundy Shore and up on the North Shore, but all of them aren't open yet because there's not enough snow. So we're going to start heading out of New Brunswick, but I do have one more place I want to visit on the way.
Well, you know how we all want the carport over our camper? Well, this bloke, he's got a carport on his camper. This is the face of somebody who's let me down today.
It's not my best day, I'll say that.
So not only did she fail with the ice skating and the tobogganing,
It looks cool, it just wasn't open.
she's brought us to a bridge.
It is the Heartland Covered Bridge, and it is the longest covered bridge in the whole entire world.
It's a rickety old bridge. It doesn't look good. They're repairing it. You know what's more impressive? The water that is flowing down the river. And I know that sounds bad, but hear me out.
Oh my god.
I've never seen anything like it. It's so bizarre, hey?
Yeah.
It's like icebergs, tiny little icebergs, but the whole river's like it. So it's just floating along as broken up ice. I don't know why it's done it.
You've watched just watching birds, you're now watching us
Watch ice float down
past.
the river. Could be worse. You could be looking at a bridge now, but...
I will take you to see the bridge.
Now, I thought I'd give her the benefit of the doubt and come and check out a rickety old bridge, but we seem to have an ongoing issue today. Closed.
Epic fail. So on closer inspection, I am actually able to walk in the first bit of the bridge, which I am really glad about because it is a beautiful old structure. It was originally built in 1901 and then they added the covered part a little bit later on. But the reason they build them like this in this part of the world is that a wooden bridge will only last you about 10 years, but the covered bridges last over a century. And this one is just over 390 metres long.
Well, I didn't realise, Jess, you was so impressed by a good bit of wood.
I don't know what that looks like normally.
You want to tell the people if you're impressed by a good bit of wood? Or should we cross that bridge later on?
Oh my god! Well, on that high point of comic genius, we're going to have to leave you there for this week. But thanks ever so much for watching.
Yeah, well, I think you've gotten over that joke now, haven't you?
Gotten over it.
It's all water under the bridge, isn't it?
Well, I've had to get out of the car because he won't stop with the stupid jokes, but thanks ever so much for putting up with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And don't forget about that Incogni link in the description.
Yes, we need to bridge this gap.
Oh my God. Am I in a different spot or something? What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. I brought us to Macclesfield. I brought us to Macclesfield. I brought us to Macclesfield. Schema boiling. Now. Because they. No!
Can you just talk for a minute? We'll just make sure the mic's working.
Hi. Test, test, test.
So we're running 400 amps. It's working faultless. They're asking my words. It's too much rambling, isn't it?
It didn't work. Couldn't find the door. I thought it was a good. The fucking mic's not. Stupid. Step one's for people probably like what? Hell. Like,
Historic building. Oh, I'm so cold.
oh yeah, tasting nutmeg.
Tastes a bit like chicken, doesn't it? It was a 40 degree.